I'm Rob Cornford. I'm the founder of a business called MTW Estate Planning, and I have been estate planning now for 6.5 years.
Wow, quite a while then. What were you doing before that, Rob?
Well, prior to that, I had a totally different business that I'd set up, etc. I'd worked in office equipment for many years, and I set up my own business in that. Sold it thinking I was going to retire, but nothing ever quite happens the way that you think it's going to. So because I was executor for my father's estate, he was the most well-prepared person I will ever come across. He had pre-filled out 95% of the probate documents and the HMRC forms, etc. Just needed values on the day he passed, putting into it. He drummed into me to get a copy of the Financial Times on the day. So my role as executor was inherently very easy. And we got probate back, or I managed to get probate back in 2003. He passed towards the end of January that year, and probate was back granted by the first week of April. You wouldn't get that these days. So even though he was that well prepared, because there wasn't the knowledge surrounding the various complications that can occur, the various threats to an estate, I encountered those things to overcome. And hence, when I was looking around to say, okay, well, what am I going to do as a career? Now I'm no longer in office equipment. I thought back and thought there is a need, certainly for a business and somebody to actually be educated about those problems and issues, and to make sure that everything's put in place as much as possible to avoid those complications and issues.
Yeah, perfect. So you sort of fell in it by default, and and you obviously enjoying it 6 years on. So that's great. What's one of the primary problems you try and solve for your families?
Oh, now that's a good question. The primary problem would be to ensure that their wishes are carried out in a timely manner when they are no longer able to. So writing their wills such that they maintain as much of the value of the estate as possible for the beneficiaries, protecting as much as we can and is possible from the various threats and the sharks that swim around and around someone's estate, trying to take chunks out of it. Obviously, at the moment, there are two issues. One is with powers of attorney, the response time from the Office of the Public Guardian, and the fact you can't chase anything for the first 20 weeks. And then when someone passes, it is the probate process and the length of time that probate is taking. And that's really where Laurelo come into their own.
How long have you been working with Laurelo, and how do you know Paul? Where did you meet?
That's a good question. I can't remember how Paul and I came across each other. I think Paul may have telephoned me and introduced Laurelo, and we sat down and had a meeting. Paul is a very personal chap. He came across very well. He told me about Laurelo, the ethics of Laurelo, which really equate to the ethics of the company that I founded and I run. And I thought it was certainly worthwhile giving Laurelo an opportunity. I had other entities who had been banging on the door saying that they could do all kinds of things. However, Paul, in my experience, having introduced him to clients who unfortunately have suffered loss, he always goes above and beyond, and from what I understand of Laurelo, that is exactly what Laurelo do. They're not after just trying to make as much money as they can from clients. They do things in the right way. As I say, they do it with the same ethics that we have and I have in business. It's about word of mouth. And I want partners who will represent my company such that we will continue to get recommendations, referrals, which is how the business has been built.
Yeah, perfect. Do you work with many introducers, many other businesses, sorry?
Are you talking about in the probate?
No, just to support or complement your offering.
Yes, I've tried to surround the business by other business areas that have an affinity to what we do. So we have a close working relationship with a couple of mortgage advisors. We have a couple of independent financial advisors that we work with, and we utilize those. There's a firm of solicitors that we can call on if we need to. So from that side, we, if you like, are the central cog in a working mechanism. The partners that I've surrounded us with really give a one-stop solution to the clients.
Absolutely.
Obviously, there's Laurelo there as well. So we offer a total package.
Awesome. And how do you find you get most of the families and clients coming to you? Where's your biggest source of, or your best source of referrals?
It really is the standard of the work that we do and how we look after our clients. Word of mouth, referrals. Okay, when we have witnesses attending an attestation, there are two potential clients who, as they have been called in by someone who has already used our services and instructed us, there isn't a better recommendation that we can get.
Absolutely.
So we do that. We ask people to put comments on Trustpilot or to write us a review. And in some cases, I've undertaken work for people who are not by any means wealthy, in fact, completely the reverse. So I've taken a view that actually I would put documentation in place for them without fee on the basis that they would give us a recommendation. To me, that's worth more than
absolutely
a couple of £100 for a will.
Absolutely. And it leaves a really good taste, doesn't it? And it's a really good thing. It's a nice thing to do, to give back when you can as well. We're strong believers in that. We're strong believers in that. What makes you happy about working with Laurelo?
Confidence, I think, to sum it up in a word. Total confidence that the clients will be looked after. They're going through grief, and I've been through that with my mother and father, so I know what it's like to experience that. And to have someone that's there to put an arm around the shoulder and just say, okay, let's have a look and see what needs to be done, what, if any, support you need, and if you do need support, how much or how little do you want us to undertake? Then to give a fee that is fixed. It isn't on a percentage basis or anything like that. It's a fixed fee for the work that's involved. To me, that's invaluable. And that, as I've said before, it just echoes the ethics that I've brought to the business and I want reflected in our business model.
Fantastic. So would you recommend Laurelo? Golden question.
Oh yeah, every time. In fact,
fantastic.
When I go and see clients, I highlight a couple of experiences that I've had with Laurelo. I just say to them, look, this is the way that I run my business. This is the way that Laurelo works. You can have total confidence. So yes.
Fantastic. That's really, really awesome. Thank you so much, Rob.